Good morning and welcome to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Monday, May 31st will mark Memorial Day, a holiday which honors the men and women who lost their lives while serving in the U.S. military. And with that said, our focus today is on veterans. Needless to say, without the service of veterans, we would not have the freedoms that we have today. My first guests are here to talk about Stars and Stripe Honor Flight. They've flown nearly 8,000 Wisconsin, World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam vets to Washington, D.C. as a small thank you for their service and sacrifices. Karyn Roelke is the president of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight Wisconsin, and Theo Williams, he's a U.S. Army vet who volunteers with the organization. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us, Andrea.
Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure, and I am excited to talk to you about everything that's going on with the Stars and Stripe Honor Flight. First and foremost, with so many things, the pandemic has caused your organization to kind of press the pause button on what it is that you do. And as I stated right there in the introduction, you take that opportunity to take some war vets right across to the nation's capital for a day to see all those memorials that were built in their honor. And so with the pandemic, you have not been able to do that, obviously this year or last year, right, Karyn?
That's correct. Certainly the one-day trip to DC is off at this point, just postponed because our oldest veterans are all in the most vulnerable age group.
Yeah.
So certainly veteran safety is always our top priority at Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. So we're really anxious for the day when we hope this fall, when it's safe to fly to the nation's capital, when DC is still allowing gatherings, and we can resume giving our veterans the full day of honor and thanks that they deserve.
Absolutely. And that all makes sense, of course. And Theo, you are with us today, as I stated, as a volunteer, and you've had an opportunity to really join many of those flights and accompany those vets and kind of get a feel for really how special this trip has been for them. So talk a little bit about your experience in doing that.
So my experience is doing that. For one, it's truly heartfelt for me because they're the ones that paved the way for me to do what I do now and to do what I served. So it's very interesting to see how their emotions throughout the day, in the morning because it's a very early morning. I believe we leave at like 5 or 6 in the morning. They're kind of quiet and reserved, but as the day progresses on, you get a ton of emotions. Some you can tell it takes them back to that time, and others where they just open up and start talking about their experiences, and they'll say, I remember such and such, that we went there, or I remember this guy from this state. It's every flight that I've been on, it's a different experience. I've flown with 2 Vietnam vets and 3 Korean War vets, I believe. And just the experiences from them all, and then hearing each other veterans interact that were in the same theater together. It's really nice to watch. I'll say that.
Yeah. And Theo, you're actually a Desert Storm vet. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so I speak for him when I say thank you for your service as well. When we talk about these flights, Karyn, you've been on the show many times, and you've had some veterans from World War II and the Korean War to join us. And after hearing them talk and hearing them share their experiences, it's always a wow moment because you just realize how much they sacrificed in order for all of us to just live the way that we are living today. So I think it's amazing what you are able to do for all of those veterans. But I wanted to talk about the fact that you're unable to take those flights at this moment. Like you said, they're just postponed, but you're doing something special right there. Instead of going on that flight, you've got something planned coming up real soon.
We do, actually. We worked hard trying to think of a way that we could safely honor the veterans who are waiting. It's been a long wait. As we all know, the pandemic has been going on for more than a year, and we had about 250 veterans who were scheduled to take their honor flight in the spring of 2020. So all of those veterans have been waiting patiently for flights to resume, and not all of them are in the greatest of health. We've got some World War II and Korean vets who are in their 80s and 90s, and then some Vietnam vets who, suffer from the effects of their service as well. So we really felt an urgency to do something now in a safe way. So we've created what we call the Parade of Honor. And this is our second. We had our first one in August. And so it's a group of these veterans whose flights have been postponed, and they'll be safely in their cars. And the parade will head from the Euchre lot at American Family Field through downtown and back. And we really hope that the community on Sunday, May 23rd, so I think that's the day this may air, will come out between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock to cheer these veterans on. There's about 100, a little over 100 vets, World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam, that will be parading by on Sunday.
That is amazing. And why it's important for everyone that's watching to know that information is because you need everybody to come out there, socially distanced, of course, to line the streets and make sure that those vets know how much they are appreciated.
Yep, and we've got some great spots set aside, designated for fans to come in and cheer the vets on. So at 25th and Canal is a perfect intersection. 6th and Canal by the Harley Davidson Museum is a great spot to cheer on the vets. And then Wisconsin Avenue and North Prospect. There's a roundabout there that would be a courtyard area that would be perfect as well. So we really hope people will bring signs and their loudest cheering voices and their family and friends and come out. The parade starts at 1, should be over by about 2:30. So I'd make sure you're in place by 1 o'clock Sunday, the 23rd of May to cheer on the vets.
I love that. And Theo, you are going to be driving your dad in the parade. And I think that's pretty special. So your dad's a vet as well.
Yes, he's a Vietnam vet. And actually, I'll also be driving my uncle as well. They're both Vietnam vets. So
just runs in the family service.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Definitely.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, just leading up to this parade, what has been like the thoughts are, the level of excitement for your father and your uncle?
They're kind of reserved men, both of them, so they're not the type to bubble over. But I can tell I get a call almost every day, like, when's this happening? Where are we meeting? I just got off the phone with my uncle probably about an hour ago, as he was asking who's driving down there, who's just there. I can tell in their own little way that they're very excited for this to happen. They were supposed to fly back in May, and they were excited for that. So this is great that Karyn and the group have put this on for them.
Yeah, I think it's really special that you even came up with the concept, Karyn, to
sure.
make it happen. So I just wanted to go over those details once again for people who may like to gather their family members to come down there and help cheer the vets on. Again, it's Sunday, May 23rd, and that's at 1 o'clock, you said.
Yep, parade starts at 1 o'clock. And again, the 25th and Canal, 6th and Canal, or Wisconsin Avenue and North Prospect are the ideal locations to gather.
Now, is this going to be streamed live on Facebook as well?
We're going to do a lot of that. Probably not the entire thing, because I'm going to need to take still pictures as well, but I'll be in charge of Facebook streaming. So you'll see a lot of that. And it's not just a parade. We have a lot of surprises built in for the vets. I'm not going to tell Theo, because we want his dad and his uncle to be surprised, but we've got some VIP guests that are going to surprise the vets. We've got some treats for them to take home, and we've got some really touching ways to thank them that we've kind of got up our sleeve.
Nice.
Yeah, so you've got 2 World War II vets, 14 Korean War vets, and 86 Vietnam War or Vietnam era vets who are going to be participating. So this is going to be pretty big. So we just want to remind everybody, socially distanced, and also probably wear a mask, right?
Yes, I would think that's a good plan. There should be plenty of room for fans to spread out and cheer the vets. And we really hope that the community turns out to make give this group of vets the homecoming that they never received.
Yeah, and you said that you're looking to get the Stars and Stripes honor flight back in the air, hopefully in the fall. And so are you booked from probably the last year or so where people, but for someone who is interested in getting signed up for not that particular flight, but flights that are to come, what do they need to do?
Sure, there is a bit of a wait. We take our applications in the order that they are received. So certainly we put World War II and Korean veterans to the head of the line because they're the oldest, along with any terminally ill veterans with the doctor's approval. But then after that, we fly our Vietnam vets in the order that they've applied. So even though a Vietnam vet that might be watching this may have to wait a year or so for their flight, it's best to get on our list right away. And they can go to starsandstripeshonorflight.org and apply right there online. Or they can call us at 262-238-7740, and we can send them an application if the computer isn't their thing.
Yes, and that's understandable for sure.
Yep.
So since we've been focused on veterans, Theo, I pointed out you are a Desert Storm vet, and if I'm correct, this past February actually marked 30 years since the end of the Operation Desert Storm. So for you, you've been around World War II vets, Korean War, Vietnam vets. For you, what comes to mind when you look back at your experience and your service in the Army and dealing with this particular scenario?
It's a lot of self-reflection, the camaraderie that's there. As I go on the flights, it feels like I'm back around my own, I don't want to say my own people, but my own people that have the same interests. We understand lingo. And I've never really understood why, but there's a body language that all military veterans have, that unspoken words. For me, it does take me back every once in a while to my encounters, and I know some of their struggles and whatnot. Not on the level that they have, just because different wars, different things happen in different conflicts. So, but it's just kind of a centering moment for me.
Yeah. And when we look at Memorial Day, I always say, sometimes people have a tendency to make it about a day off or a holiday or barbecuing,
Right.
but it really is a day that we remember those people who lost their lives
Right.
while serving in the U.S. military. So I'm not sure if you lost any of your comrades who were there in Desert Storm with you, but what does Memorial Day mean for you?
It exactly that. I've lost quite a few, actually. My time in Desert Storm, there was an incident where people had just got in the country, and I had made friends with these people, and then a mishap with missiles where it fell on a building, and I believe there was 101 people passed away. So Memorial Day really is about those that lost their lives, and it's a quiet day for me. I really don't do a lot of barbecuing on that day. I don't go out to people, I don't get caught up in the holiday of it as far as cookouts and whatnot. It's kind of I go to a VA hospital, the cemetery there, and just kind of sit and really think and reflect.
Yeah. And I think it's important for people to understand that, it's not always about the celebration of it. For many people who have experienced things such as yourself, you need time to reflect and just really probably give thanks that you made it through and you're here. Yep. To even talk about it.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you again for your service. And Karyn, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to share with our viewing audience today?
Just that any veteran that would like to apply, again, starsandstripeshonorflight.org, and we're taking World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam vets. And if anyone is looking for information on the organization, they can find it at our website as well.
Yes, and that phone number again?
262-238-7740. It is a recorded message, but the call will be returned.
Well, I thank you both for coming by today and sharing all of the information. And Karyn, I'll be talking to you again soon when you're ready to take that flight in the fall. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Andrea.
It's always a
Thank you,
pleasure.
Andrea.
Karyn Roelke is the president of Stars and Stripe Honor Flight Wisconsin, and Theo Williams, he is a U.S. Army vet that serves as a volunteer with Stars and Stripes Honor Flight. For more information on the second Parade of Honor happening on Sunday, May 23rd, visit starsandstripeshonorflight.org or call 262-238-7740. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll connect with our friends from Milwaukee Homeless Veterans Initiative and find out what they've been up to and how you can help. We'll do that right after this.